Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Ukrainians are still using drones, and in this case, they attacked inside Russia again, but not too deep. It's only in Belgorod and Belgorod Oblast, Russia. I have an article here giving details on that and some maps. So let's get going with the article. The article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from March 4th, 2023. Drone attacks oil pipeline substation near Russia's Belgorod. So let's see where Belgorod is. Actually, they're gonna give us here. The incident occurred in the village of Razumnoye. So I looked on Razumnoye. It's right here by Belgorod, the city. Next to it, right here. And here is Kharkiv. This is the border with Ukraine. Right here is the border. This is Kharkiv, Belgorod. Or on this map right here. This is Ukraine. This is Belgorod. This is Kharkiv. Let's get there and see how close it is. So let's see what the Russians saying. They say something about village came, said the village, but Belgorod government said that Gladkov said that a village came under Ukraine armed forces fire. There were no casualties, 2 private houses. So this is not the same. This is not the same as the one that we are talking about here, which is close to Belgorod, like one of the neighborhoods in this area. All right, so let's go to the article. And we find that a UAV equipped with an improvised explosive device crashed into an empty tank with a capacity of 3,000 tons, resulting in a 1 square meter hole. Wow, that's 3 feet? So empty tank. Lucky the Russians, right? But not that lucky, because the drone was capable of traveling from here, at least from here to there, without being detected. So 4 people were evacuated from the substation. There were no reported injuries. The incident occurred in the village of Razumnoye near Belgorod, according to the Astra Telegram channel. Several powerful explosions rocked Belgorod in early February, resulting in a fire at an oil depot and damaged plant. That sounds like civilian infrastructure to me. But hey, if you consider someone raping your family as bad, would you consider your family raping some other family's members good? I think that that brings the question, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, which is the Judaic philosophy of the Old Testament, versus turn the other cheek or love your enemy, the Christian way. You see, they're very opposite, don't you think? So which one do you think the Ukrainians applied? Do they apply the Judaic or they apply the Christian? But somehow we are supposedly here, they say, and I disagree with that, that our culture and civilization has a Judeo-Christian origin and blah, 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 Judeo-Christian this and this. And really? You make me laugh. Well, just look at the Roman law. And if we go by the stoning, people with rocks for adultery and other stuff like that, then we will have obviously a Judeo-Christian culture. To a certain extent it is over there. There are some aspects of it, but if we would use those aspects, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think a lot, or the bulk, comes actually from the Greeks and the Romans. Our civilization I'm talking about. I'm not talking about other people's civilizations or cultures. All right, let's go back to this payback. I don't like when they hit my civilian infrastructure and energy infrastructure, but I'm okay with if I hit them. That doesn't tell me that these guys have principles, but it's war. What do you expect, right? We have to be a little bit more flexible, I guess. So There were additional drone attacks in Belgorod later in the month, with Belgorod Mayor Valentin Demidov saying that a UAV had flown into an apartment window in the city, and local authorities discovered the wreckage of 3 drones on February 27. Well, if people, and there are many of them, if people think that it's only exclusively the Russians or whomever fights on that side who are, purposely or accidentally target civilians and infrastructure, and on the other side it's not such a thing occurring, payback, I don't think those people lived enough in real world. Why? Or at least pick a few books, good books I'm talking about, and just look into history. Pick whatever you want to take. The Second World War, that's a good example. We're going to see a lot of reciprocity in bombarding, civilian towns, if you know what I mean. I don't have to go with Dresden, Hamburg, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, or London, or others. But you see, if I condemn you from committing some atrocities, that means when I do it, I should condemn myself as well, right? Or at least I should, keep my mouth shut. Or do what humans do best. They are very, very unjust. Why? Because that's the way we are. As long as we want things, and we want things from other people, and we have the ability to get those things, law is just something on a paper or whatever, on the stone engraved. The law doesn't have to be only written down. It has to be enforced. Okay? If it's not enforced, you're going to have what you have in other countries, when we call them banana republics or third world countries or this and that. They have laws. All of them have laws. The problem is inconsistency. That's why when you have a child and you educate the child, you are involved in the upbringing of a child, you have to be consistent when you reward or you punish. Otherwise, the child will get the impression and will try to do the same thing, because one time you enforced it, one time you just let it go. So the child said, well, maybe this time is going to be the let it go time. And so that's why I have to be consistent. The same with the law. Now, you can't be perfect, but at least society has to understand by, as I said, example, that the law is enforced. And in this case, well, the Ukrainians, I don't want to blame the Ukrainians from attacking inside Russia whatsoever, because from the Ukrainian point of view, the Russians attacked their country. However you want to take it, those territories, Russian minority in Ukraine lives over there. They voted in the referenda. However you want to take it, you have to look at both sides. You can, or all sides, not only two, because sometimes obviously it's more than two sides, and there are minimum two, unless one of the other side is already dead. Then you have only one side telling the story. So in this case, the Ukrainians, well, you attack me, I'm attacking you. It's fair game here. The problem is, as of now, they're losing in retribution. If you in reciprocity, you hit my infrastructure, I hit yours. Unfortunately. And who's in the middle? Civilians. And usually the most vulnerable. Children and old people. And other people count their money and the profits and look at the stock market going up and down. There are oil tankers going left and right. The LNG delivered in this port, that port. The banks giving, helping nations to cope with inflation because of Russia sanctions. Other people play sanctions and all that. And some people stay in power with all this. It's all this. I didn't mention the military, who luckily makes a lot of money. Talking about not only the military is just the intermediary that has the guns. I'm talking about the ones that are the manufacturing weapons for war. They were just lucky, just hit the jackpot with this Ukraine war that was unprovoked, and nobody... Who thought the Russians would do this? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.